Hello again, folks. Welcome to today's final episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels. We're going to that horrible world known as Agape boarding school with some new updates. But before we do, the usual disclaimers. In the description box, you are going to find all the pertinent links to the Agape boarding school situation. Agape Boarding School is a Christian-themed boarding school based out of Stockton, Missouri that takes in so-called troubled male teens that has, and pending, substantiated all of them by the Department of Social Services, over 21 allegations, claims, and civil lawsuits leveled against it. They are alleging as follows: sexual assault and rape, sodomy, child abuse, psychological and emotional abuse, child trafficking, and that's just for starters. You had one former staff member arrested by the FBI, another a doctor who's still on the premises upon multiple substantiated claims of sexual assault, sodomy, and rape. You have, let's see here. So please, folks, we got an attorney general who can't figure out how to do his job unless he's suing Biden, and we've got a governor hyped up on a power trip. Please share all these links. Don't forget to share and sign change.org, Shut Agape Boarding School Down petition. We got the pertinent links to the Stop the Shocks campaign as well, including Autistic Hoya's massive archive on the subject, Jennifer Basamba's behavioral sheet on shockable offenses, a clip out of the 7-hour ordeal undergone by Andre McCollins back in 2002, the templates, and the ever-present self-explanatory change.org Shut the Judge Rotenberg Center Down petition. When we discuss Agape boarding school, you're going to hear descriptions of and catch clips of footage of peoples with disabilities, mental health issues, and just your every so often student who happened to get one F on one report card being tortured and abused. If you have young children present, please use your headphones. This channel is marked not for children for a reason. We talk about dark subjects and we use profanity. If your child is 16 and under and watching this channel, parental supervision is advised. All right, folks. So this is an update. Came out just a couple of days ago. This is KTTS. It's a local station out here. They've been around for years. And this is the name of the article: To Plead Guilty in Agape Boarding School Case. Now remember, they got put down to misdemeanors by the prosecutor, who doesn't think restraining kids and doing the shit they get up to is anything other than properly punishing. There's a reason why public schools removed corporal punishment, sir. I don't know if you know that. But anyways, let's get into it. Again, I apologize for my appearance. I'm aware of the fact that I kind of look like a bobblehead wearing a sack. I'm old. It's rainy. My back hurts, all right? Ozark Mo, 2 men charged with felony counts of abusing students at a private Christian boarding school in Missouri, have pled guilty to misdemeanors, and the case against the third employee has been dropped. Remember when we talked about how the prosecuting attorney decided to make them misdemeanors? That they don't give a shit about the rampant pedophilia and the horrors going on with these kids? This is what we're talking about. The Kansas City Star reports that 46-year-old Scott Dumar, the medical coordinator at Agape Boarding School near Stockton, pled guilty Thursday to 2 misdemeanors and was placed on 2 years probation. Can you imagine that? You run a torture compound and you get only 2 years probation. Dr. Matthew Israel didn't even get that. And he has 6 deaths on his belt. What the fuck is going on that we throw away certain kids? You throw away autistics, that goes without fucking saying. You throw away, but they're troubled, they're dangerous, blah. Fuck you and your abuse apologencia, alright? I'll tell you where the fuck you can shove it. Okay? Why do we as a society allow for certain kids to be tortured, abused, shocked, murdered, beaten, abused, raped, sodomized, trafficked. And it's okay if they get caught, that they only get misdemeanors. Where is our priorities as a society? Why are we cornering off certain kids to never get justice? If y'all ever wonder why us autistics never go up against our abusers, why most disabled people don't, this shit right here. You can have a rock solid case, ER documents, surveillance footage, all kinds of shit, with a lot of dark history to back it up, and this is what they do with it. Because they want you to have more sympathy for our abusers and our murderers, the people who murder us, than for us. I should tell you something. It's time to start looking in the fucking mirror, neurotypical society. Wake up and smell the fucking coffee. I digress. Let's get into this. Sorry, folks, allergies. 40-year-old Everett Graves pled guilty to one misdemeanor. The case against Chris McElroy was dropped when the alleged victim didn't show up for the hearing. Wow, who's fucking surprised? If you all can't even goddamn bother to prosecute the actual crimes these people have committed, why the fuck should we show up? Do your jobs. Hard evidence found by an unbiased party. And they get slaps on the wrist. It's a fucking insult to victims everywhere. They were among the 5 staff members charged with low-level felonies after investigation into the alleged widespread abuse at the school. I noticed that KTTS, and remember, KTTS caters to these huge mega churches and all these Christians, so I'm not even surprised. They're not going into any of the details of the claims against them. They're not talking about the fact that this is now, he hit me on the arm once. Sodomy, rape, sexual assault, child trafficking, starvation, being left alone for hours tied to various items, kids getting the shit beat out of them. All substantiated by hard evidence and doctors' reports and ER records. You don't see any of that in this article, do you? No. It's not an accident either. And for those who want to sit there to tell me, but the liberals are better, they're really not. My case in point is the JRC. Massachusetts is bar none one of the biggest progressive states in the United States. And they have allowed for that school to go on and torture generation after generation of students. Even after the deaths of 6 people. So it makes me wonder, what is it going to take to close Agape? Because a body count hasn't even closed down JRC. And Agape's not far behind them. They're part of the same exact insane, extreme pseudoscience with a mix of Christianity thrown in. It's like if you suddenly mix Christianity with the JRC and you get Agape. When are we going to start seeing justice against these schools? When is the JRC going to be shut down and called into question and made to face and answer the charges for the 6 people they've murdered? When is Agape going to answer for generation and generation of kids that they put through psychological, sexual, and physical torture? Why are we throwing away certain kids like our pain and suffering doesn't fucking matter? Because I've been asking this question for over a decade. Do not talk to me about inclusion and diversity and how everybody fucking matters when you continue to throw us under the bus and do nothing about these cases. I'm going to rest today's video on that. I am calling out Eric Schmidt. And I'm going to call out every single son of a bitch who's come out of the woodwork who said he's done everything he could. No, he hasn't. He had a fucking year to do his job. He did nothing. He could have used the power of his office to take over this entire case. He did not. He has allowed an obviously compromised county prosecutor to run this fucking case. One who has not only ties to Agape, but has drove and put one of the poor boys into the school and paid for the tuition himself. Do not tell me he did everything he could do. That is a bullshit. It's fucking cop-out. And to sit there and tell me, it's just because you're against Republicans. I'm against anyone who defends pedophilia. I'm against anyone who says that it's okay for certain kids to be tortured and abused and traumatized over and over again. I'm against schools that exist who live with fucking body counts. And the only reason why Agape doesn't have one yet is they haven't been around quite as long as the JRC. You let them continue to get away with this shit, it's only a matter of fucking time. You have survivors committing suicide because of this school and the trauma it inflicted while we're talking. I'm going to close out on that. We don't get very many views on this channel. The few that we do tend to get removed from time to time. So please don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe, and don't forget to hit the comments. I do appreciate your time. As always, we here at Spilling Tea hope you have a good one. Bye-bye.